Hello, Lamond-Riggs family. You all know I am Barbara Rogers, president of LRCA, and welcome to our last meeting as we do not meet in July, August, or September. We will be back on June 3rd. We actually will still be working over the summer, but as you can see for those on your screen, we'll go over our LRCA housekeeping rules. During question periods, please raise your hand. Please do not just unmute yourself and start talking. Please keep your comments brief, focus, and eliminate any background noise. People will have like 30 seconds to ask a question. Please refrain again from unmuting yourself and speaking without being recognized. Of course, we'll have no shouting or inappropriate language because we just don't do that here at LRCA meetings. And that's it. So we will move straight to the agenda. We actually do have a change in the agenda. If you all recall, at the last meeting, we had a representative on our meeting from the Bacchus Education Campus there on South Dakota. They are going to be doing some renovations down there, and we wanted the community to get an update. However, they could not attend this meeting. So we were able to get the Office on Aging to come and give us an update on some of the programs that they have that maybe some of our seniors in the community could take advantage of or participate in. So we'll have Miss Alice Thompson to come on from the Office of Aging. And I just realized that it is now called DC Department of Aging and Community Living is the correct name. But let us move on to the agenda. We're going to have our invocation by Reverend Paul.
Yes. God, we thank you so much for this day. We thank you for how you have blessed us. And we thank you for so much for allowing us to be able to see this day. Now, God, as we enter into this meeting, we ask that you give us a spirit to reason together in the best interest of our community. Bless those who are on this call and their families. Bless the bereaved families and those who are afflicted. In your name, amen and amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Okay, so we're going to move right along. Hopefully we don't have to keep you the entire time tonight because it's such a beautiful day. So we're going to move through the agenda as quickly as we can. We're going to have the officers report. Do we have Audrey, who is our treasurer? Is she on? I just sent her Audrey, are you on?
I'm on. Sorry, I had some issues.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. Thank you.
Good.
Okay, let me pull up this report. Just give me 1 second. I'm sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties here. Okay. I'm here to present the treasurer's report for June 6, 2022. The beginning balance was $10,867.79. The deposits included $57.73 in membership dues. And then there were a few expenses. We had our LRCA newsletter for $274.84. Our Zoom account was $129.98. The signs by tomorrow was $165.88. I hope I didn't freeze. And that was a reorder and delivery for our banner. The total expenses came up to $570.20. And the ending balance was $10,355.32. And I hope I wasn't freezing through that. Did you need me to repeat that?
No, I think we heard you. Thank you so much, Audrey. Can I get a motion to approve the treasurer's report as just stated by Audrey Walker, our treasurer.
Make a motion to approve the treasury report as stated by Audrey.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay, so it has been moved in second. Angie, if you could take people off of mute. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay, so it has been moved in second that we accept the treasurer's report as just reported by Audrey. Next, we're gonna approve the minutes. The minutes would always be on page 3 of the newsletter. Can I get a motion? There are no corrections that I am aware of for the minutes. So can I get a motion to accept the minutes as they are printed in our newsletter?
I make a motion that the minutes be approved as printed in the newsletter.
Thanks.
Second.
Can I get a second?
Second. A second.
Okay, great. Okay, so the motion has been approved and second that we accept the minutes as they are printed in the newsletter. Can we unmute everyone? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, any
Aye.
opposed? All right, so the motion passes that we accept the minutes as they are printed in the newsletter.
Robert, before you proceed, I'm going to mute everyone. Once I do that, if you can unmute yourself.
Okay. Okay. All right, so we're gonna move right on to the agenda. It's 7:07. I'm gonna see if, let's see, do we have anyone here from Councilwoman Lewis George's office?
You do. Hey, everyone. It's Jim.
Oh, James is here.
I am here.
Hi, this is James Lewis, and again, he is from Councilmember Lewis George office, and he's gonna give us an update.
Yeah, I hope everyone's doing pretty well. I'm going to put my information in the chat. I always am excited to be at this event. It's in my neighborhood, right down the street. So I'm going to start with some budget wins related to schools in the ward. Councilmember Lewis George has been working with fellow council members to secure important investments in the DC budget for our community and DC families. And the final vote for the DC budget will be held tomorrow. She fought alongside our school communities and Ward 3 SBOE rep Fraser O'Leary to secure a major budget win for Ward 4 schools to address overcrowding and remove key obstacles to much needed modernizations in Ward 4 schools. I can send more information about the budget in a link in a little bit. We are also getting $1 million to replace the roof at Riggs LaSalle Recreation Center in 2023, which is super exciting. And that's relevant for everyone here. I'm going to copy and paste in information about the budget wins. And Lanace Edwards may be in the chat in a little bit to maybe talk more about the budget wins, but I'll let Barbara know when she's here. We did a readiness tour of all the Ward 4 recreation centers to help ensure Ward 4 rec centers ready for the summer. The council member toured every DPR site in Ward 4 with DPR and DGS staff. I was there with her. It was really great. We got to meet a lot of great staff members. In coming weeks, we'll be working with DGS and DPR to address the key maintenance issues at each rec center, including the ones in our neighborhood. Coming up this week is a summer safety strategic meeting on Wednesday, June 8th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at McFarland Middle School. Agencies with a public safety nexus will attend and speak about specific actions that will take to help prevent crime, gun violence in our community, and how our community can support those efforts. Neighbors are encouraged to attend and share their questions and suggestions. And here's the RSVP I'm sharing in the chat with everyone. I look forward to it. It's in person. And then the next thing is we have Ward 4 Care Days. Lamond is on June 23rd. So super excited for that. We continue to host Ward 4 Community Outreach Days. And the council member, the staff, volunteers, commissioners, representatives from DC agencies canvass different neighborhoods, connect people with DC resources and agencies, and just kind of meet neighbors. And it's a great time. I really enjoy it. And Lamond is coming up soon. So I'm gonna share the link for that. And as always, remember to sign up for our Ward 4 newsletter we send out. We're gonna have 2 this week, one for the budget and one for our general updates. And the budget one should come out tomorrow, and the general one will come out Friday, and that's done by our great Alex Taladeros, our communication director. I'll share the link for that. And that's really it. Pretty simple updates this week, but a lot of exciting things coming for the rec centers and for the public safety meeting.
Okay, do we have any questions for James? Any hands raised? James, you're gonna get off easy for our last meeting.
Happy summer.
Exactly. Thanks again for all your help. You know, whenever we call, you always answer, and I just want to say thank you from the from LRCA. So thank you.
Of course, I love helping my neighbors.
Yes. Okay, we're gonna move on through. Do we have anyone here from Council Member Kenyon McDuffie's office?
Yes, Silas Grant here.
Hi, Silas.
Hello, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Hey, just really quickly, Silas Grant, Senior Advisor in the Ward 5 Council Office. Just want to hit a couple of quick bullet points and then I'll give it back to you. As James mentioned a moment ago, tomorrow is the final vote for the budget. And there are a couple of highlights I wanted to bring to your attention. The council member who is the chair of the Committee on Business and Economic Development has been fighting to make sure that small business owners have an opportunity to have their fair share of work here in the city. And so last year we were able to find $4 million for the Commercial Acquisition Fund. And this year we will be able to identify an additional $4 million that will allow small businesses, in particular people of color that own businesses that occupy buildings, but they don't own them, to be able to be in position to purchase them. And so the way the Commercial Acquisition Fund works is that either 25% of the cost of the building or $750,000, whichever one is lower. If you qualify for that fund, you'll be able to get that amount to go toward purchasing that building. There are applicants who've already received funding, and so this program is up and running, and it's being a benefit to a number of small business owners here in the District of Columbia. It's also an additional $2 million put into the Equitable Impact Assistance Fund, which is also helping small businesses. An additional $1 million to DMPED in general for their grants for small businesses. There are a number of other wins that will be included in tomorrow's vote, which is again Tuesday, June 7th. And so we hope that the budget victories, not only from our committee, but from all the committees, are able to impact residents, not only in Lamond-Riggs, but across Ward 5. The last thing I'll mention is that the council member was also able to identify $10 million for a Black Home Ownership Fund. As we know, it's been a really, really tough period for all of us, but it seems as if when it rains, it pours for the Black residents here in DC. And so identifying $10 million for a home ownership fund for Black people is something that he really fought hard for, and we're glad to see that that's in the budget. Also tomorrow, the council will consider the redistricting maps that have been submitted by the task force and now that have been reviewed and marked up by the subcommittee on redistricting. If you all don't have links to that, I'll be able to send you that, President Rogers, so that you can circulate that to the entire body of the Lamond-Riggs Civic Association. The very final thing I'll mention is that many of you know by now, but the DC Public Library has voted to rename the Lamond-Riggs Library to Lamond-Riggs Lillian Huff Library. Our office originally filed a ceremonial resolution back in February, but we had some conversations with the chairperson, and we decided to actually wait for the vote to take place. And so now we'll be moving forward with our ceremonial to commemorate that great vote to rename the library after someone who worked extremely hard to get the library there in the first place. So with that, I'll give my time back.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any questions for Silas? Everybody's getting
Yes,
off
I
these.
have a question.
Okay,
Hi, I would like to ask, when will the application or the process be made available for those with small businesses so that they can participate in that fabulous opportunity?
So the first round of funds have been distributed, and upon the vote tomorrow, the fiscal year 2023 budget will open October 1. So at some point in October, the next round will be available. They've pulled the application off of the Deputy Mayor's Office for Planning and Economic Development's website, but there's still, I think there may be, so now, I'm sorry, obviously dc.com is the website that DMPED is using for all of the small grants. The application has been pulled from there, but if you go to DMPED's site, it still shows you the criteria for that particular grant, but it'll be back up and running in October.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Rodney, did you have a question?
Not a question. I just want to thank Councilmember McDuffie and certainly Silas's efforts and Councilmember Lewis George for supporting the committee to rename the new Lamond-Riggs Library and our efforts to actually have it named after Mr. Huff. So I'm the Ward 4 co-chair. Frank Wiles is the Ward 5 co-chair. So we just want to publicly thank you, Silas, and Councilmember McDuffie, in addition to Councilmember Lewis George.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
We also got the email from you today, the invitation. So we're adding that to his calendar.
Thanks. Look forward to seeing you
All right.
guys.
Okay, thank you so much, Silas. Any other questions for Silas?
Just really quickly, there's one in the chat that talks about landlords. Are they considered small business owners for rental units, or it has fewer than 4 rental units? The commercial acquisition fund has been designed for people that occupy spaces but don't already own them. So if you're referring to that particular program, it's not for a person who operates and owns within the property where they operate. It's for people that have been long-term tenants of commercial properties that they do not own currently.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Silas.
You're welcome.
So now we will move on, but before we move on to the commissioners, I know that LaRoya Huff is not feeling well, so she will not be on she's not on the call tonight. But I did just want to just say a few things before we move on to the ANC commissioners. And as I mentioned earlier, this will be our last meeting until October 3rd. Will be our next meeting. So I want to make sure that everyone on this call, that you are on our listserv so that you can continue to get updates, community updates over the summer. If you are not, you can still contact us over the summer by dialing 202-838-6058. And again, we set up an email. You can always email us at ask@lrcadc.org, or you can always go to our website, which is lrcadc.org. So again, as I mentioned, we won't be meeting, but we will still be working over the summer. We have committees that have already set up meetings over the summer. We do have another event coming up that Mr. Edgar will talk about coming up in June. The other thing, we're expecting some updates from EYA. EYA is the developer that are doing the townhomes that are right there at Riggs and South Dakota. And if you didn't notice, we have people already moved in. There are, I think, 3 families that have already started to move in this week and last week. So we will expect an update probably over the summer from EYA. So again, make sure that you are on our listserv so that you can receive the updates. I'm sorry. Okay. So I'm going to keep going, and we'll also have an update over the summer from the Bacchus campus as well. So I can't say this enough. Please join our listserv so that you can get community updates over the summer. The other thing is that we may be knocking on your doors this summer. We're going to do a membership drive over the summer to knock on doors and, you know, say hello. And again, encourage the community to support LRCA and pay your dues. So don't be surprised if you get a knock on your door over the summer. Then the final thing I wanted to, well, 2 other things. We are having an LRCA volunteer certificate ceremony. For those of you all who attended the meetings in person, you know that we would give certificates to volunteers that have supported LRCA during the program year. But since we've been meeting virtual, we are going to have that meeting, the certificate ceremony, this coming Saturday, June 11th. It's going to be at noon, and it's going to be at the rec center. We're going to have a table set up outside. What will also take place at this event, for those of you all who don't know, there was a wonderful event on May the 14th in our community that was put on by the Lamond-Riggs Boys and Girl Club. And it was such a successful event. The mayor was there, just a nice event. And this organization had money left over, and they donated to the scholarship of LRCA $2,000. And so we are so thankful for them. And so they will actually issue us the check at the event this coming Saturday at noon. So if you are a volunteer, or you just want to meet and see some of the executive board members, I encourage you all to come out. And then finally, Silas already mentioned that the efforts of so many in this community to get the Lamond-Riggs Library named after Miss Lillian Huff, the work actually paid off. And as we had written in our newsletter, we said that the DC Public Library Board voted to name the Lamond-Riggs Library after Miss Lillian Huff, a civil leader, activist, and organizer who led the quest to attain a library in the Lamond-Riggs neighborhood for 2 decades. And so we just want to say thank you to all of those. We want to thank Mr. Frank Wiles. We want to thank Rodney for their efforts. They, I think, got, you know, some of the neighborhood associations to sign on and write letters. I know Miss Commissioner LaRoya Huff also did work in getting some letters in, and LRCA, we did a letter as well. But I just want to say thank you to all of those that were involved. And I know that there is an event coming up. I don't know when it is, but Rodney, if you could put that information in the chat for people to come out so that you all can officially thank people, that would actually be great. Okay, so those were my announcements. I am actually going to move on. Is Commissioner Allison Brooks on?
I am.
Hi, Allison.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
So I have a few quick updates. I will point out that like LRCA, the Advisory Neighborhood Commission does not meet in July and August. So this month's meeting will be our last meeting before our summer recess. We, though, do resume in September on the 4th Monday of the month. We will be sending out notifications prior. I'm encouraging people to participate in those calls. There's information shared there that is not necessarily shared at every meeting that LRCA holds. We have different presentations from time to time, and I think that the information is valuable. Most recently, we've had a presentation by DMV. There's an ombudsman that represents residents in fighting parking tickets or speeding tickets or any kind of ticket. And so that's the kind of useful information that residents need to have. Those meetings are also virtual, so you don't have to leave the comfort of your home to participate. In last month's meeting, I will note that we were supposed to have representation from DDOT at our meeting, and for the 3rd consecutive meeting, they canceled the meeting. One of the reasons, or I'm sorry, I shouldn't say canceled, they were unable to attend. Because they notified us prior to the meeting, but after we posted our agenda. One of the reasons we invited DDOT to attend the ANC meeting is because we were interested in having a conversation with them around traffic in this community and what they're doing to address it. And more recently, the traffic study investigation process and how it has changed. So we're hoping to have them again in the future, but I think, as I advised in the ANC meeting, anybody that was interested in participating in that dialogue or would like to have DDOT be more transparent in their addressing of issues in our community, if you go to their website, there's an opportunity for you to send an email directly to Director Lott, and I would encourage everybody on this call to do that. Right, so if you're complaining about people speeding through your neighborhood, or you're complaining about losing parking spaces, or you're complaining about not having speed humps when you want them, we need other people besides my voice, besides the commissioner's voices, to be reaching out and supporting us in the effort to bring to fruition the things that you actually want to see happen in your neighborhood. So that being said, please support us in our effort, because we're trying to help you and we need more voices to make that happen. And I noticed that I have 16 seconds, so I'll stop there.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. Do we have any questions for Commissioner Brooks?
Has the redistricting map for Ward 4 been finalized? If so, where do we see the final map? And that came up right as you were starting to talk, so it might have been from the last one.
So the redistricting map has not been finalized because the city council has not voted on it. And you can find it on the council members' website. I believe if Jim is still on the call, he can put the link in the website, but the ANC doesn't produce that map. Thanks, Jim. He said he'll share it in a second. So actually the redistricting map for the wards has been finalized. But I'm assuming your question is specific to the ANC and the SMDs that are related to the ANC.
I was just reading the question in the chat, so I'm looking
Okay.
for more details.
Well, yeah, whoever's question that was.
Okay, and that is, do we have any questions? That is Katie, who will be reading the questions in the chat.
Mhm.
I'll quickly get the next question that's in the chats from Ms. Pierce. We are actually working on that. We had a busy month on the busy year for our communications team, and we're working on our membership portal. And so over the summer, we'll work to enhance the membership portal and get all the usernames and passwords sent out to everyone.
Thank you, Angie. Okay, Do we have any other commissioners on the line?
You do.
Okay, do we have Commissioner Damian McDuffie on the line?
No, but you have another commissioner from our commission. You have Commissioner Brommagen.
Is he on? Thank you. Hi, Jeff.
Hi,
How are
President
you?
Rogers, thanks.
I was gonna get to you next. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, well, I'll be very brief. I just wanted to share a couple things really fast. One is that we learned, I think last week, that DDOT's going to be holding a meeting on the rebuild of Eastern Avenue from New Hampshire to Whittier Street. So I'll put that in the chat. It's been a long time coming. It's been a source of a lot of tension within my single member district. So I'm really glad to see it's getting a little attention. As Commissioner Brooks noted, we've pushed very hard on DDOT to be responsive to a number of our concerns, and maybe this reflects that. I don't know, but I'm glad to see that this meeting is happening. Other than that, I would note that DDOT also issued a notice of, I think, intent is what they call it, to do a project that would improve bicycle safety and probably vehicle safety as well on Kansas Avenue between Chillum Place and towards Fort Slocum, I guess to 2nd Street Northwest. I can dig up more info about that if anyone is curious. And that was something that came out of a request that our commission made, and I worked with Commissioner Tiffany Johnson on that, as it affects part of her single member district. Other than that, I've also been trying to get another public meeting for the redevelopment of a property along Sligo Mill Road, 6101 Sligo Mill Road Northeast. The developer still has not been ready to do a public meeting. I check in with them about every 2 weeks. They're waiting for a sort of a determination from the zoning administrator before they meet publicly again. So I'm hoping I can arrange a meeting soon. I know it's been a long time coming, but I think that's it for me. Thank you for the opportunity to just share a couple things.
Okay.
President
Thank you
Rogers,
so much,
can I
Jeff.
share one more thing before can I take his last 20 seconds to say
Sure.
that DPW is having a job fair on June 8th from 12 to 5 p.m. and they're looking for people that hold CDL licenses. So that job fair is going to be at North Michigan Park Recreation Center, and people should feel free to share that information with whoever they might know that holds a CDL or is interested in obtaining a CDL.
Yep. Thank you so much, Allison. Do we have any questions for Commissioner Brommagen?
I have a question. Forgive me, and may I also say that I had a question for Ms. Brooks. I would like an opportunity to speak with Ms. Brooks and both commissioners regarding the homelessness of teenagers and single teenage mothers in the District of Columbia. I can give you my information in a text here, and I look forward to setting up a time in which we can talk about that subject, please.
Certainly. I'll be happy to talk with you about it.
Thank you.
I'll be honest and let you know tomorrow is not going to be a good day for me to call you back. So if you could, give me some grace and allow me to call you on Wednesday.
How can I
appreciate that.
Do you have my number?
No, but I'm going to drop my email address in the chat right now, and then you can email it to me. That way you don't have to share it with everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ford, for the question. Do we have any other questions?
Yes, there's 2 in the chat. The first is also regarding streets.
There's a question in the chat.
When can we get the street Eastern Avenue between Sligo Mill Road Northeast and North Capitol Street that road is extremely bumpy. And then the other question is, where is the job fair to be held and when? And I see that the job fair, the question is being answered in the chat at North Michigan Park Recreation Center.
As far as the first question about, I think repaving of Eastern Avenue, I encourage you to attend the meeting if possible on June 22nd to know more about it. They have said that the road needs to be completely redone. So as far as timeline, I don't know what they're thinking now. It seemed like every year it got pushed back 2 years. So I don't know more yet, but hopefully I will soon.
Okay, Katie, any other questions?
Request for the date of the job fair. And let's see, it's just come in June.
Okay, it looks like Allison responded.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Okay, and I see we have actually been joined by Anthony Mitchell from the mayor's office. Thank you so much, Jeff. All right. Anthony, the floor is yours.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. I was waiting for you to say something. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you as always, for being so gracious with your time and allowing us to join and share some of the things that we got going on. And just to be in community with you all. For those of you I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Anthony Mitchell. I serve as the liaison for the Mayor's Office of Community Relations and Services. And really just want to share a few events that we have coming up and to answer any questions that folks have any. Actually, this one of them is going to be taking place at the Riggs Park Place. That's right across the street from the Walmart on Riggs Road. We will be stopping by there with the mayor, deputy mayor for planning and economic development on Thursday, which is June 8th. I'm sorry, June 9th at 11 a.m. I'm going to be sending this out to you, President Rogers. I have an email in draft form right now that I'm looking at. So after I finish the meeting, I'll send it out to you, and so you can share it out with everyone. But it's going to be Thursday morning, 11 a.m. It's going to be talking about the Black home ownership strike force that the mayor has proposed in her budget, which was then passed a couple of weeks ago by council. And so now this is a formal announcement of that new initiative that the mayor is doing specifically to target Black home ownership in the district. And so that was a $10 million investment. We're going to announce that, as well as share, ways that we're planning on addressing Black homelessness, not homelessness, Black home ownership in the district. So definitely want to make sure that folks know about that. Also, I mentioned to some of you offline, but put a detail together for a conversation that we're doing with the Office of Unified Communications, which is basically 311, 911, and those types of matters. The Office of Unified Communications serves as a hub for all of the 311 calls you all make, the app, the website. They manage all that stuff, as well as non-emergency and emergency 911 calls, and making sure that those get routed to the right places and things like that. Director Holmes of OUC will be coming to Ward 4 on June 14th. And we're going to be talking, especially with our seniors at First Baptist Church over in Petworth, about accessing 311 and 911, and any feedback or concerns that you all want to share directly with the director. She will be on site from 11 to 12 at First Baptist Church, which is located at 712 Randolph Street Northwest. Please feel free to come by. There'll be a bunch of other agencies there sharing resources, but we really want to make sure the community is informed about, and not just 311 and 911 and how to use it, but really use this as a time to hear from residents specifically about things that concern them with either one of them. I know Commissioner Brooks and some of the neighbors in her SMD mentioned how calls are being routed to Maryland, whenever they call 911, and obviously that can be the difference between, a life or death situation. So those type of things are something that we want to talk about and share some of the ways that we're trying to address those things. So I definitely invite all of you all to join for those. All the other events like Capitol Pride that's taking place this weekend, and there's another one that I had that I wanted to share. That's it. Capitol Pride that's happening this coming Saturday. The mayor's going to be in the Pride Parade. That's taking place in DuPont and Logan Circles. It's one of the largest pride parades in the country, as people know. But, come out, have a good time with us, walk with us. And it turns into a party afterwards. So, if you want to stick around for that, you can do that too. But that's all I have. And I'm happy to sit for any questions if folks have any.
Okay, do we have any questions for Mr. Mitchell?
There are several in the chat.
Here we go.
Okay, Katie, can I ask you just to speak up a little bit?
Yes, is this better?
That's better, thank you.
Okay. So the first is, the issue is really hard for those on the border with Maryland. Will the individual be able to come to communities affected by this phenomenon?
Something we could set up. I've been in a conversation with Director Holmes, and she's been very willing to come out and to talk with folks. I know previously in another ANC 4B commission, we did one of those walks with 301, and so they had representatives from 311 come along for the walk, put in 301 requests as we went along throughout the walk. And they were live tweeting it. So as people were tweeting at them, they were able to answer it in real time. So, that's something that we've done up in Tacoma, and we can definitely do that up near 3rd Street. And I know that there's a lot of appetite for the director to want to do that type of stuff. So just finding a date and time and figuring out how that works best in terms of maximum participation, right? So not doing the same thing on like one block 1 week and then another block the next week. We want to maximize her time and maximize the time of the people that are going to be putting these requests. So, figuring that out, and we can make that happen. Yeah.
Great, thank you. I am seeing another one. I'm sorry, was someone going to speak? Okay.
No, go ahead, Katie.
I think I just heard a background noise, my bad.
Yes.
I see another comment. My granddaughter in active duty Army has said that the Army is offering a $25,000 sign up fee for those people who are 35 years or less. And there's a phone number in the chat. So I guess that's more of a comment. And then the next one from Rodney, the committee to rename the new Lamond-Riggs Library is having a celebration of the board's recent vote, where they agreed to our request and voted unanimously to rename the library. The Lamond-Riggs Lillian Huff Library. The celebration is also an opportunity for the committee to say thank you. Event is only for the above that responded to the committee's request and actually gave us letters of support. We're looking to work with DCPL on the naming ceremony. We'll reach out to the LRC community and our neighboring communities to join us for the public celebration. So please text the number in the chat if you are interested in that. I'm sorry, I see that there was one that I missed at the beginning, asking for an elaboration on the announcement about Sligo Mill Road number 6107.
I think that was for me. And I'm sorry if I was a little too quick to talk about that. I'm not sure. It is. Oh, yeah, start my video. That it's an issue that had come up last year, that there is a large building there that has been vacant for a number of years. When the Hampshires community was built, it was supposed to be redeveloped. There was a plan to redevelop it, and the developer at the time was, I guess, financially unable to finish that project. And so it has sat vacant since then. Now it's like 10 years later. The current owner is trying to find a path to move forward with it. I held a couple meetings last year about this. One with Rodney Foxworth when he was then the president of LRCA, and that, I think the last meeting that was probably in September. So it's been a long time now since they have re-engaged with the community, but they were planning then to tear this building down and build a new building in its place. They have since determined that that is infeasible. So they're trying to come back with a new plan that will preserve the existing building and deliver the housing that it was supposed to deliver. So that's sort of the longer version of that. And I was trying to keep within time. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I probably glossed over way too many details.
Well, we thank you for that. And Jeff, as when we were on the, I've attended so many meetings. We were on the Lamond Action Group's meeting when you gave that update. And I said that I would reach back out to you because I would like for you to provide a quick update to the LRCA's Development Task Force in the near future. And again, these will be updates that we will, of course, put on our listserv to keep the community up to date. So again, get on the listserv over the summer. Thank you so much, Jeff.
Thank you.
Anthony, were you done?
Yes, ma'am, I was. And I'm going to drop my contact information in the chat, as well as I'll send you information on all the events that I talked about so you can then share it out for everybody.
Okay, any other questions for Anthony Mitchell from the mayor's office? Thank you so much, Anthony. All right, so I see that Miss V, I'm gonna let Miss V go quickly, and she will be followed by Edwin Washington from the Parks Main Street. Miss V, are you still on? I know she was going between two meetings, but
Sorry,
let me.
Barbara, I see one other comment that a bunch of them came in at the same time in the chat. For Mr. Mitchell saying this issue has been raised by constituents of Commissioner Brooks, as we're also impacted by this issue. So if you could address this in our area, that would be good. And I'm sorry, there were a lot of back and forth, so I'm not sure what if we can follow this. Apologies on that.
Ms.
With all of
Mateen, and I have been talking offline.
Okay.
That was the young lady that was talking about when I mentioned calls going to Maryland when people are calling 911. She's actually the person that I was talking about. She doesn't know it, but she's the person that I was talking about.
All right, I think we're caught up then. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we are joined, Ms. V.
Yeah.
We are joined by Ms. V. Ms. V is the owner of Culture Coffee 2. She wanted to talk about the 5th annual art crawl. Ms. V?
Yeah.
We can't hear you.
Right here. Okay. Yes, I'm on 2 Zoom calls.
Okay.
So yeah, the 5th annual art crawl for Riggs Park is July 8th and 9th. That's a Friday and a Saturday. We have vendors, we have live painting going on. We got children heavily involved on Saturday. And I just would like to invite the whole community, actually the whole city, to come and enjoy Riggs Park art crawl. I've been doing this for 5 years now, and every year it grows. So let's keep it going. And I appreciate you guys for letting me invite you all to the 5th annual Riggs Park art crawl.
Thank you so much, Ms. V. Ms. V, you have to send us a flyer so we can put it on the listserv, okay?
I most certainly will. As soon as I get it, I'll get it to you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so Edwin Washington, the Executive Director for the Parks Main Street, is up next, and he is going to introduce one of our business owners in the community. Edwin, you're up.
Yes, good evening, and thank you so much, President Rogers, for allowing us to, the Parks Main Street, to always have time to speak and update the community. Thank you, Ms. V, for being on. I certainly was going to update folks about the Riggs Park Art Crawl. We've been very happy, the Parks Main Street, in partnering with Culture Coffee too on doing this the last several years. So we're very happy about that. But a couple things real quickly. Our second round grants that the Parks Main Street is putting out has been out since last Friday, and they will are due on the 10th. No, they were actually out the week before, and then now due the 10th. That'll be grants for up to $4,000. Let's see, I was gonna mark Riggs Park then. Okay, so we also, the Parks Main Street, what we're doing a business refresh for several businesses. This first time around, we're doing 4 in Riggs Park and 5 in Manor Park. In fact, Culture Coffee 2 is one of the businesses we're doing a refresh with. And what that is that we're looking at their full operations, their business operations, marketing, social media, their staffing, hours. We're just looking at everything and then providing them with some actionable recommendations. And then we'll work with them to see how those are implemented over time. Additionally, Silas mentioned about the commercial property acquisition fund. Well, in fact, one of the Parks Main Street businesses were able to receive from that grant, from that fund, and it's a business actually over in Manor Park. It's the Amar Group, an architect firm, a Black woman-owned architect firm that has been around over 25 years there in the Manor Park area. We were doing everything we could to assist in her, at least trying to stay within the Manor Park or the Riggs Park area and trying to find property for her to purchase. But she ended up buying property over in Glover Park off of Wisconsin Avenue. It's a real nice condominium, business condominium. So we're excited for that, and that one of our businesses were able to, one of your businesses were able to take advantage of that. And thanks again, Silas, for mentioning that. And then Council Member McDuffie for putting that out. As you all know, probably, and someone else may mention it, that Fridays at Fort Totten has started back up. So that's exciting. That's good for the community. We're going to be the Parks Main Street working along with them in the near future to do additional things there on that corner after the Friday at Fort Totten is the series is finished, and to do more things in the community. And then finally, and thank you for President Rogers for putting in the newsletter about Art All Night, and the fact that we are actively seeking artists, vendors, makers, and then all to participate in this. As several of you know, we did this last year for the first time, and it turned out very well. We still plan to have 3 or 4 locations in the Riggs Park area, and a location or so over in Manor Park. So at this time, I think it'd be best, and I hope, Barbara, you'll give me a little more time than what it looks like I'm taking most of my time up. I want to introduce you to Ben Evans, the head brewer and the owner of Hellbender Brewery Company. As many as you know, they were had a couple months where they had to deal with some issues with licensing, but they're back on board. They're ready to go. In fact, we're over there yesterday. Several of us were there yesterday meeting and strategizing about events moving forward. So Ben, why don't you go ahead and share? Make sure you yeah, there you go.
I'm unmuted now.
You're good.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Edwin. Just wanted to, first of all, thank you so much to the community. We dealt with an issue with our licensing. Long story short, it was discovered some issues with our sales and use tax that a former business partner had not fully disclosed, but we were able to fix that, get our ABRA license going again after a little bit of work. And we had a lot of support from the community, from Edwin and Riggs Park, Parks Main Street, sorry. And Edwin was talking to me almost daily during all that and helping me out. It was morally and you know, all the other things too. It was great. Just sort of like, just giving me you know, more emotional support and all the other support. And the member Louis George's team was extremely helpful too. Our community rallied behind us, and Commissioner Brooks was very helpful. So I just want to say thank you to the entire community for kind of getting us back on track. This has been starting this brewery has been something I've been working on for a good part of my adult life, and something I take very seriously and spend all my time working on. So I hope everybody can come by and support and see us. We have a lot of great things to offer there outside of beer. We have a lot of great food trucks that come by. We do a lot of different events. We do open mic every Wednesday. We do trivia every Thursday. We do local pop-ups with local vendors, supporting other small businesses throughout the community. We've done partnerships with Food and Friends, with Capital Partners for Education, to name a few. And then even actually, so our name Hellbender, I know some people have worried that it's some sort of something ominous or satanic or something. A hellbender is actually a large salamander that's native to this area. I was a scientist before all of this, and obsessed with reptiles and amphibians. We just thought the name sounded very cool and works with our focus on sustainability here at the brewery, which is a big part of our focus here. And if you go to the National Zoo, we actually helped raise just about all of the money for the endangered Appalachian salamander habitat there a little while back, a few years back. So that's kind of our background. Edwin, did you want me to get into anything in particular that we've been discussing recently? And
other than talk a little bit about our meeting yesterday, and it was just a gathering, and maybe not all the specific details, but just know that you're certainly we're working with some things. Go ahead.
Yeah. So during the pandemic, we were able to get our license for our patio. We had an issue with getting that with DCRA and previously prior to the pandemic. And so for the last 2 years, roughly, we've been safely operating our patio. It's actually, I don't know how we would have survived the pandemic financially without that patio. So we're now trying to get that patio back. I see the timer going because our reset essentially reset that patio license, and we're trying to get it back through DCRA at this point. So I'm reaching out to a lot of different people right now and really trying to work hard on getting that patio back up and running, because we've essentially lost about half of our revenue since we reopened in the tap room, because we really suffer on nice days, and people really do want to be outside. And so we're working closely right now with I'm working closely right now with both Edwin and the ANC, and Councilmember Louis George has been extremely helpful too. So we're hoping to get that back up and running soon. That's I don't want to go way too far over here either. Am I?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, do we have any questions? Thank you so much, Ben. It was a pleasure to meet you yesterday. Again, community, let's rally around this business and support. Do we have any questions? Well, you got a couple of things in the chat. Welcome back, Ben. And I think he answered the question as far as the patio. They are actually working on the patio. Gordon Fletcher's a commissioner says welcome back as well. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Ben. Thank you so much, Edwin. We really appreciate all that you do for our businesses in the community. All right.
Thank you.
Let's see, Katie, do we have any more questions?
I think that was a request for the address for Hellbender, so maybe that could be dropped in the chat.
Ben, what's the address there?
It's 5788 2nd Street Northeast. So it's just all the way up at the top of that row of warehouses north of the for better. Well, I'll say the Walmart, not the Chick-fil-A.
Right.
Anyway, yeah.
Thank you. And Mimi, it's right up the street. We could actually walk there.
It's the last
It's
one on
on
the left.
our side. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Is Miss V still on? I think she had to get off. Someone was asking about how do they sign up for the art crawl vendor participants. I would say that you can probably, if you stop by the Culture Coffee, Miss V would be happy to answer your question.
And to leave that, or either they can send information over to the Parks Main Street. I'll put both of the contact information in the chat for Ms. V and for the parks. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, Edwin.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to move along. We are actually joined by Commissioner Gordon Fletcher. Commissioner Fletcher.
Yes. Hello, Madam Chairwoman. How you doing today? How's everyone doing?
How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for having me. So I'll just give some quick updates. For those that do not know, my name is Gordon Fletcher. I'm happy to serve as the Vice Chair of ANC 5A under the leadership of our Chairman, Ronnie Edwards. We will be having our next ANC meeting on Wednesday, June 22nd. This Thursday, June 9th, I will have a single member district meeting. I will make sure I send that information out to President Rogers so she can get it out to her members. I'll send that for the email after this call. We're looking to have updates from our place at Fort Totten as we get closer to starting Phase B. We also are going to be have a presentation from DC Water. There's been some running water along Gallatin Street, and it's really impeding pedestrians' use of pathway and getting to and from Fort Totten, and young families are having trouble with their strollers, and so that's something we want to look into. We also are going to have, I'm trying to think who else, our place at Totten, DC Water. We're also going to have Delando Baker, the Ward 5 DDOT representative, who's going to come and just hear some concerns. I know that we are continuously talking about traffic mitigation issues, speed bump requests, alley repairs. So I'm bringing DDOT and the mayor's Moker, Nokomis Hunter, to hear from residents about concerns regarding traffic or alleyway issues. That's pretty much it regarding ANC matters, single member district matters. What I would do real quick is, as some of you may know, I'm also chair of the Ward 5 Democrats. And this past weekend, we had our annual Ward 5 Democrats motorcade. Hopefully, it did not impede anyone's use of the road too long, but we think it's important to get out the vote, let folks know about an important election that's coming up, and just let folks know about what's happening with the Ward 5 Democrats. Ward 5 is still very much a strong Democratic ward, and it's important for new residents and older residents, long-term residents, to know that we are still pushing Democratic principles and values, always. So those are the two things I just wanted to bring up. That's pretty much it for me, President Rogers. I will answer any questions the community has. Glad to see Edwin Washington. Glad to hear about Art All Night. Look forward to supporting that again. And also glad to see that Hellbender is back in the community once again. So I plan to frequent that area as well. So glad to hear those updates. Thank you so much, President Rogers.
Thank you so much. So please put on your calendar, we're doing our certificate ceremony on Saturday at noon. So come through. We'll have one for you, of course.
Okay, so this Saturday. Okay,
yep, this coming Saturday.
Yep, it's a busy Saturday, but I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna be there. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so the only commissioner we did not hear from was Damian McDuffie. Is Commissioner McDuffie on? Okay, so if not, we are going to Mr. Edgar, I am going to let you make your announcement because I know that you are on your way to work.
Yes.
Mr. Edgar is going to tell you about, this is our last meeting. However, we have another special event, senior event coming up. Mr. Edgar?
Yes, good evening, everyone. The 17th of June, and it's going to be from 11 to 1. It's the Father's Day brunch, seniors. This is not citywide. This is for Lamond-Riggs. It's RSVP. Give your name, address, phone number, email, and we're going to on the eve, which is that Thursday. We look for folks to come out and help us out, and contributions that if you lack. And I think that's what is. Red Maze, are you on?
Yes, I am.
Okay, anything you want to add, Red Maze? Anything I missed?
I don't think you missed anything. We just like to stress that it's for senior fathers, not fathers, because the newsletter stated all fathers. But we are the senior committee.
Yeah, we welcome,
Okay, and
we welcome.
need,
It is
and
for
we
senior. Yeah, it's the senior
and we
committee.
need help setting up, as he said, on Thursday evening before around 6 p.m. to set up
Okay.
the center for it.
Okay, I just want to add, if you want to RSVP, you use the same number, 202-838-6058. And as Mr. Edgar said, please leave your name, your address, and your phone number. Oh, and your email if you have an email.
Yeah.
We've also set up an email address, which is fathers with an S at lrcadc.org. You can email your RSVP as well. So thank you so much, Mr. Edgar. And you don't yarn because you got to go to work, Mr. Edgar. So thank you to the senior committee. We hope to see you all there at the Father's Day brunch on Friday, June 17th from 11 to 1, and it'll be at the Riggs LaSalle Recreation Center. Okay, we are now going to, is Miss Alice Thompson
There are
on?
actually a question in the chat.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
There's a question in the chat for the Father's Day brunch. What's the youngest age to be considered a senior?
Really, 60.
What's a senior in DC?
60 and up.
All right, thank you so much.
Oh, I forgot we got an Office of Aging person.
Yes. It's 60 and up.
That would know everything. Thank you so much, Ms. Thompson.
You're welcome.
But we welcome if fathers want to come and support. We need help. The theme we did for the Mother's Day, the men serve the women. So in this case, the women, we're going to serve the men. We can always use volunteers come to help. So just wanted to say that as well. So I am going to introduce Miss Alice Thompson. Miss, I don't even know how long you've been with the now DC Department of Aging and Community Living. I do remember when I was previous president years ago, Miss Alice Thompson would come out to our meetings. She would bring us the recycle bags. and I remember her saying one year was like, I've never run out of recycle bags, but when she came to an LRCA meeting, she actually ran out of bags. And so it is delightful to know that you are still there serving the DC residents. So without further ado, Miss Alice Thompson.
Thank you. So I'm going to see if I can share my screen. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Share. Okay, can everyone see it?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so first of all, I want to say, I guess I could take this off right here, X this out. I want to say thank you so much for reaching out to me. It has been quite a while. I don't know why my face is not showing, but at least my information is up. So that's for some reason, my camera, because you're supposed to hit start video, right? For some reason, it's not coming on, so I'm
Yes,
not
as
gonna
long as
work.
you, yeah,
Oh.
there must be a, now
Oh,
we
you
can
know
see your
what?
keyboard.
No,
I think,
no, no, no,
I
no,
think I
no.
see what it is
No,
now.
no, no. Prince, calm yourself. Calm yourself.
Yeah. I know what it is, because see what I'm doing, I'm using a monitor and I have a laptop. And the laptop is kind of under the counter. And so let me close it, but I want to close it so I don't shut everything down. And we'll see. But I'm not gonna worry about it. We'll oh, wait a minute. Hold it. That's what's wrong.
Yeah, we see your hands.
I know what I'm typing. I gotta put my code back in. Get back on. I'm not gonna worry about the picture.
Pretty nails. You have some pretty nails.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just pull this down just a little bit. So my face won't show on this one. So anyway, I am the community outreach team lead for DACA. And our main number is 202-724-5626. And everybody can read that. And I am alice.thompson@dc.gov. I don't care how often you send me an email. I don't care how often you call me. I am here to serve you. So, you know, that if you want to call me at 11 o'clock, I kind of start shutting down around about 11:30. I'm the type of person you can call me up to 11 o'clock and I would not be offended, okay? So, who we are. Of course, you know, the Department of Aging and Community Living provides programs and services for residents age 60 and older, and adults with disability and their caregivers. So when we say adults, we're talking about folks that's 18 years old and up, okay? What we do, we work with more than 20 community-based nonprofit organizations, delivering over 40 programs to help you live in your community. And of course, many of our programs are free or very low cost. Now, the last time I was at your meeting, and I'm gonna say 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, actually, the Safe at Home program had just been initiated, thanks to Mayor Bowser. And this was in I think it was 2016, and the pandemic started something like 19, right? So when the Safe at Home program first started, it started off at 60, I think it was 65,000 for one person. Folks, it is now $72,550 for one person. But they have changed the program where you either have to be a single person or a married couple. And a married couple, it's $82,550. So what does the Safe at Home program do? First of all, it allows you to have a good quality of life in your own home. Being able to live in your own home makes a big difference to a lot of our seniors. Some of the things that prohibited them from being able to live in their home safely and to get around is that, say for instance, if you live up on a hill and you have 10, 12 steps to climb, We will put in a iron railing so that you will be able to have something to hold on to so that you can get into your home safely. We help you with handrails, grab bars, bathtub cuts, shower seats, and chair lifts. Now, let me say something about our chair lift program. If you live in the average two-story home in the district row house with a basement, your bathroom is generally always up on the second floor, and you have one in the basement. Lucky folks may have a powder room on the first floor, but those that don't, they either have to go upstairs or they have to go down to the basement. So the great thing about the chair lift and the Safe at Home program is that a lot of seniors have difficulty going up and down their steps. So we would put in a chair lift going from your first floor to the second floor so that you can move around whenever you want to. In other words, you don't have to just stay upstairs because the bathroom is up there. We want you to have freedom in your home, be able to walk around in your home, be able to go from the first floor to the second floor whenever you feel like it. And of course, you know, the average row house in Washington, D.C., the washer and dryer is where? It's in
downstairs.
Where is your furnace? It's in the basement. Where is your power box? It's in the basement. So if you have difficulty going upstairs, you're going to automatically have difficulty going down to your basement. So with a situation like that, an occupational therapist, she's going to come into your home. One thing I want to say, folks, is that we don't care what your house looks like, okay? We don't care if you have newspaper stacked. We don't care if you have dishes stacked up in the kitchen. We don't care. But there are a lot of seniors that feel so embarrassed that they won't let the social worker come in first to kind of look at your home. And then after the social worker, then the occupational therapist will come in. So a lot of people say, oh no, I'm fine, I don't need the program, but they do. So I'm just telling you that we don't care. We're not looking for that. What the occupational therapist is looking for is to see how you move, see how you go up your steps, see how you come down your steps, see how easily it is for you to sit down in a chair or sofa and get back up. Oh, you okay, Miss Johnny?
Yes.
Okay. So so also what they would do too is put blocks. They call them they're kind of like blocks to go underneath your could be your sofa, it could even be your bed. Because if your furniture is low and you have difficulty getting up, you need to raise that furniture up. So we could do that. So now you say, well, what the heck can you do for me if I live in an apartment? Okay, so in an apartment, we can give you handrails if the apartment management says it's okay. If they say it's not okay, then we can't do it. We can give you a shower seat. We can give you, have you all noticed that mostly all toilets, even when you go to fancy department stores, the toilets are almost sitting on the floor. They're not like chair height. You know, if you get a chair height toilet, it costs more money. Even the department stores don't want to spend the extra money for a chair height. So what they would do, they would put this, it's kind of like I wouldn't call it foam, but it's a very firm apparatus that you put on the toilet, and it raises the height of your toilet up so that it becomes chair height. So that's what we can do, not only in an apartment, but in a private home. Also, in a private home, since it is your home and you have difficulty sitting down on the toilet and getting back up, you can ask them to put the, you know how they have that guardrail going around your toilet in handicapped bathrooms? They could do the same for you there. So that's the Safe at Home program. Of course, there's a lot more to talk about, but you know, it's getting late. So now, the next one I want to talk about is, we call it the elderly and persons with disabilities. It's called the EPD waiver. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about real quick is that in January, President Biden gave everybody a cost of living raise. That cost of living was 5.9%. Everybody knows that, right? So with that cost of living being 5.9%, that automatically increased the amount of income you can earn per month. So if you look at this EPD waiver, you could only earn last year $2,382. Now you can earn $2,523 a month in order to qualify for the QMB. I mean, for the EPD waiver. So that helps a lot of people that were on the edge, on the borderline where they couldn't qualify. So if you have a relative, ask them if they need the EPD waiver. And what happens, the EPD waiver keeps you in your own home. It keeps you from having to go into a nursing home. Nobody wants to go into a nursing home. Nursing homes don't really treat you well. I have a friend, he's an artist, he's in a nursing home. And if you could see how he has declined, he's 83 years old. You could see how he has declined in 2 weeks. It's unbelievable. So so I finally was able to connect with DACA to help him get out of that nursing home, come back into his home, and have a caregiver come in. So that's what the EPD waiver does. It gives you a caregiver. So the next slide will be on, this is a good one. It's the Qualified Medicare Beneficiary Program. Remember what I said? The cost of living went up to 5.9%. So before last year, I'll say in 2021, you could qualify for the QMB program. That means for folks that have Medicare Part A, and you are paying for Medicare Part B premiums, which will cost you probably about $170. If you qualify for the QMB program, last year you could only have $32.40. That's how much you can have now, $34.18. So that helps a lot of people that was on the borderline. That's $3,418 a month. It can help a lot of people. For a couple, you can have $4,598 a month. And then that means that both of you will save on your Medicare Part B premium. And that's $170 twice, $170 to buy you food. It can help you with your utility bill. It can buy you 2 or 3 dresses, depending on where you shop. So that's the QMB program. So if anybody, I'm not going to ask you how much your monthly income is. If anybody thinks that they may qualify for the QMB program, you can reach out to me. My cell phone number is 202-288-5330, or either you could just say alice.thompson@dc.gov and you can connect with me. So we have a lot of virtual events, and I'm gonna tell you one event that's gonna be coming up soon is computer training. I had it with my church, 19th Street Baptist Church. So that's going to be coming up sometime in July. It's going to be open to the public. That means anybody can sign on. So this is what we're talking about when it says attend our virtual events. Now, this is something that's very important. This is the Adult Protection Services. The hotline number is 202-541-3950. Now, of course, you know, with the Adult Protection Agency, they came to DACA when the mayor made the old Office on Aging the Department of Aging and Community Living. So APS came with us. They're part of DACA now, and they have a hotline. And I'm just going to give you some quick bullet points. APS protects seniors from self-neglect. APS protects seniors from abuse by family members, such as taking unauthorized funds from checking accounts, savings accounts, credit cards, or bonds, protect seniors from abuse of orchestrated relationships by younger men or women taking advantage of a senior that just lost a loved one. And I'm gonna tell you something real quick. I knew a lady. She was a very good friend of my mother's. She lost her husband. She was 80 some years old. She's deceased now. She passed a couple years ago. She hooked up with this young fireman. He was about 43 years old. She's 83 at that particular time. So they developed this glorious love affair. And she told me about it. Then she tells me, I said, well, how's everything going? Everything's fine, but then he wants me to put his name on my house. And I said, and what are you gonna do? She said, well, I don't know, but he said, if I don't do it, he's gonna leave me. I said, well, okay, let me tell you what you tell him. You tell him Alice Thompson from DACA said that she will call the fire chief, who was my second cousin, Fire Chief Kenny Ellaby, you know when he passed, right? I said, tell him that I will call the fire chief. So she told him, that man packed up the next day, right? So then she was like still gloomy and stuff and coming, but I'm so lonely. I said, you think you're the only lonely woman in the world? You need to go out and do things that other ladies are doing, you know? And so that prevented her from being swindled out of her home. I didn't call APS because I didn't want to embarrass her. Because she knows better. She's an intelligent, educated woman, you know, and she should have known better. So that's APS. And
well, Ms. Thompson, are you able to email me these slides? Because this is some great information that we want to post on our listserv and provide the information.
I could send you the PowerPoint. Let me send you the PowerPoint because that's, and then you can make copies.
Okay, sounds good. Yes.
Whenever you open, I can drop off. When do you think you are gonna have your meetings again?
Yeah, we don't meet again until October the 3rd.
October, I'm gonna bring you plenty of information.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much.
Okay, and let me tell you real quick. We have 6 senior wellness centers located in Ward 1. Let me put it up real quick. Ward 1, which is Bernice Fontenay. Ward 2 is Hattie Holmes Senior Wellness Center. That's in Ward 4, I'm sorry. Ward 5 is Model Cities, everybody knows that. Hayes is where DACA is located, that's in 500 K Street. Ward 7 is the Washington Senior Wellness Center, and Congress Heights is Ward 8. I just want to tell you all one thing. Next Wednesday is the World Elder Abuse Day. I am going to be on a panel with Douglas Klein from the Justice Department, Amy Mix from Office of the Attorney General. We're going to have APS on, and we're going to have the Ward 8 director. So I'm going to send you, Miss Barbara Rogers, the link. I'm hoping that folks can join us. It will be from 10 o'clock to 11:30. It's very short, but please join and support DACA by being on there so I can have a lot of faces. You know? Okay. So
all right, thank you so much.
So, okay, so thank you all for letting me come on. I appreciate you.
All right, and I did put Ms. Thompson's cell phone number in the chat for anyone that wants to reach out to her.
And I'll email this to you right as soon as I pull down. Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks again so much.
Bye. Bye-bye.
All right, the last item we have is that we want to see if there or any updates from our committees. As I said, we will be meeting, committees will be meeting over the summer. So let's see. Tish, do you have an update on your bylaws committee?
I do.
Okay, can give you a minute or so.
Okay, so I lost my light in the house. I had my windows open. Hello, Lamond-Riggs. This is Tisha Cockrell. I am the president of the Friends of
Oh, my
Riggs
goodness.
LaSalle, and I'm also doing a committee update for the bylaws committee. I'm the chair of the bylaws committee also. So in terms of the bylaws committee, we will be having meetings over the summer because we have much work to do. As I said before, we are still in search of an attorney to help us with some of the things we will be discussing in the bylaws with new changes. And so our next meeting will be June 13th on Monday. And we are finishing up our minutes to discuss that meeting's agenda. I think that's all for the committee. In terms of, we'll be giving out the committee certificates on June 11th down at the rec center, as President Rogers previously stated. Also, in terms of the Friends of, the reason I mentioned that, there's two things of the Friends of the Riggs LaSalle Recreation Center. We turned in an update of all of our repairs and requests from our testifying for the budget and performance hearings, since the budget will be completed on tomorrow per the Councilmember Lewis George and the mayor's office. So we turned in a letter of, what's been done thus far since we did the walkthrough with Miss Councilmember Lewis George. And we also received one of the checks from the Lamond-Riggs Boys and Girls Club from the event for $2,000 also. And that money will be put into use by the director of the Recreation Center, Miss Shirlita Settles, and whatever her wishes will be, unless we have any other items that come up. Okay, that's it for me. Thanks so much. Have a good summer. Bye-bye.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm muted. Okay. We have actually saved the best for last. As you all know, LRCA, we distribute scholarships to deserving students that live within our boundaries. And we went through the process this year. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to our scholarship chair. We actually have two of the recipients here tonight. They're going to take a minute and just tell you a little bit about themselves, their name, and where they're going to school. This is Rabiha. She is our chair. Thanks so much, Rabiha, for all your hard work on this, and you have the floor.
Thank you, Barbara. First, I want to give acknowledgement to my two colleagues who worked with me on the scholarship committee, and that's Nick Barber and Barbara Carter. With that, we received 6 applications, 3 of which were completed. And of those 3 that we reviewed, one of the candidates was disqualified because they were outside of the LRCA boundaries. So we reviewed all 3, and we ranked 2 who are currently online with us. And they will be the beneficiaries of the LRCA 2022 Scholarship Fund. I'm going to go in alpha order of first name. We've got Mr. Apollo Pierce, and he'll be followed by Ms. Janaya Charity. And they're just going to introduce themselves, give a brief overview of where they go to school, where they're going, and what their career goals are, and what they plan to do with the scholarship money. So first over to Apollo.
Hello. I am trying to connect my camera real quick. Something's not working. I apologize.
While you're getting that together, do you want us to go to Janaya?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we're gonna move to Janaya while he's getting his camera together.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is Janaya, and I just wanted to start by saying thank you so much for awarding me with this scholarship. You will not be disappointed. To introduce myself, like I said, my name is Janaya Charity. I'm a graduating senior from Benjamin Banneker Academic High School, and I will be attending Spelman College in the fall with a major in economics. Yes, I hope to use my economics degree to start a nonprofit to help students in the city receive high quality education. And I will use the scholarship money to continue to bridge the gap of finances on my tuition at Spelman.
Thank you so much for that, Janaya. And you're graduating from where are you graduating from?
From Banneker.
Okay, and going to Spelman. Thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go to Apollo. He seems to be having still some problems. We saw him a second ago. Apollo.
Yes, I apologize for that. But hello everyone. My name is Apollo Pierce. I am a graduating senior, graduating from DC International School. I will be attending Ohio University in the fall, and I will also be majoring in economics. I'll also be doing a minor in computer science. So in the future, I would like to build applications to assist people in need. So definitely that's something I'd be interested in. Thank you for the money, and I will not disappoint.
Can we give them a big round of applause?
Yes.
Can we unmute everybody and let's give them a round of applause?
Way to go, Apollo. Way to go, Janaya. Banneker.
Congratulations to both of you guys.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, HBCU and Ohio. Yay.
Yay. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
Oh, yeah, that's right, DC Public Schools. That's right.
Yes.
Yes. Both of you, DC Public Schools. This is really great. And we do see you. We do see you, Apollo.
You popping in and out. That
And as
just
you can
shows
see,
you that
you've got
DC is
a
the
lot
place
of
to
people.
go.
You've got a lot of people routing for you who've come off on screen and giving you congratulations. So we know that we saved the best for last, as President Rogers said.
Yes.
But I'm going to turn it back over to her. And again, thank those who assisted in vetting and determining these candidates who were very much deserving. So thanks again.
Yep. Thanks again,
Yeah,
Rabiha,
yeah.
and to the committee for all your hard work in this. We got two, like I said, very good candidates, and we wish them well. We're here to support them. Rabiha, do you want to say what they will receive and how we came up with that amount?
Yes. So the executive board actually met on this, and we were able to come up with additional funds from different sources. And so Mr. Apollo will be getting a $2,000 scholarship from Lamond-Riggs, and Miss Janaya will be getting $2,500. So that is, we're hoping that will help you on your journeys.
Yeah,
and you'll be getting, we will follow up with an official letter to both of you, but we did want to, for our membership to meet you and get a chance to be introduced to you and vice versa. But we'll follow up shortly with an official letter from our president.
Thank you so much, Rabiha. And again, congratulations. So our meeting is actually almost up. Did we have any more committee members that wanted to, if they have something that they wanted to say on their committee? Danielle, did you want to say something about you'll be continuing your walk, correct?
That is correct. So please come out on Saturday mornings for a walk around the community. It will continue to send, well, I'll make sure to send announcements throughout the summer as a reminder.
Okay, okay.
I would like to say thank you to all who helped with the senior Mother's Day tea.
Yeah.
And also we had one of our people that came, Miss Brown, donated. And I'd like to thank her for her personal donation.
Yeah.
That was most appreciative. And I just want everybody to know I appreciate everything you did.
Thank you so much. We have a great senior committee, and thank you so much. I see Reverend Paul has
Yes, ma'am.
his hand up.
Yes, President Rogers. I just want to mention to everyone, even during the summertime when we have our break, please feel free to still contact me directly for any notifications of deaths or losses in our community, because that's always ongoing. So again, please feel free to reach out to me directly and or to Sister Barbara, but preferably to me, because Barbara needs a break too. And so that we can continue to do what we do. Thank you so much for all your help.
All right. Anybody else? Anything in the chat? Don't forget.
Oh, I got one more thing to say. One more thing.
Yes.
Anybody desiring to join the senior committee, please feel free to do so. Just drop your name to President Rogers or either to myself, Reverend Mays.
Yes.
A King's Kid 72,000 at yahoo.com.
Yes, and I am so sorry. I forgot to let Mr. Oliver speak on the library because our library will be opening very soon. I'm sorry, Mr. Oliver, you have the floor.
Okay, there's nothing to be sorry about. Just wanted to say that the library could open as soon as July the 2nd. It'll definitely be open in the first 2 weeks of the month of July. The rationale is what could possibly hold us up is getting commitments or RSVPs from all of the community leaders and from the politicians that have been invited. Also, there are still some supply chain issues with getting in books and furniture, which may also slow things up. But I am fairly confident that we should be opening within the first 2 weeks of July. Plans are being made now for the celebration that will involve a variety of, I would say, community groups and, of course, the library staff. Lastly, I just want to commend everybody in the naming process. We had two great candidates, and there were quite a few people who really wanted to keep the name the same. So what I'm most happy about is that one, that the best candidate for this community won, and secondly, that everybody got a fair and even shot in having folks express their will. So just kudos to all who voted and participated in the process. And if there are any questions, I can answer them. And that's it for me.
Any questions for Mr. Oliver about the library? And again, make sure you're on our email because the library will be opening this summer, and we will not have a meeting. So please get on our email list, and so that we can email you updates on that. We have 1 minute to go. I know Angie has another meeting that she has to get on. Rodney, I see Rodney's hand is up.
Yeah, just a quick announcement. On behalf of the committee to rename the new Lamond-Riggs Library, we really want to thank those community organizations, particularly those in Lamond-Riggs, that sent in letters of support given our request of them to have that library named after Mrs. Huff. And as most of you guys know, we are the only community organization that really advocated that the library be named for Mrs. Huff. So in addition to a tremendous community consensus that we were able to build in Lamond-Riggs, where pretty much all the organizations submitted letters of support, we also got letters of support from Queens Chapel, North Michigan Park, 5A, 4B, and from South Manor Park. And in many cases, for the organizations in Lamond-Riggs and our sister organizations next door, the vote was unanimous. And I want to add that the library vote on our request was unanimous as well. So we look forward, since we're the only organization that advocated for Mrs. Huff, we look forward to being an integral part of what that naming ceremony looks like. And we've already had some preliminary talks with the library staff. So we will keep you guys informed.
Amen.
All right, thank you so
Yeah.
much again, Rodney, for you and the committee for doing that. Again, joint effort, everybody participated, and that's how communities work, that we
Amen.
work together. That
Amen.
we work
Hey, Barbara, I
together.
just want to add that Ms. Huff was also a former LRCA president.
I know. Yes, yes. Okay, so with that being said, it is 8:46. We are right on the button. I just want to say again, thank you
Barbara?
to every, yes.
We have a question from Reverend Mays.
Reverend Mays, you
It's
gotta
quick.
just.
It's quick. It's
Go
quick.
ahead.
Are we all invited to the ceremony for the opening for the library?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure Mr. Oliver he'll inform us of that. Mr. Oliver?
The library opening is open to the entire public, not only just Lamond-Riggs, but the entire service area. So that covers Queens Chapel, North Michigan Park, Fort Totten, and a couple other neighborhoods that I can't think of right now. But it is a celebration for all peoples within our service area.
Okay.
Great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So again, in closing, I just want to say thank you to everybody on this call. Thank you to the community for supporting LRCA. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful summer. And again, we're always just a phone call away. Any community concerns, send us an email at ask@lrcadc.org, or you can give us a call on 202-838-6058. And good night to everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful summer.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, and thank
Good
you,
night. You
Barbara.
too.
Such a great
Good night.
presentation.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.